Hello everyone, you're welcome to today's video. I remain your tutor life changer. In this video we are going to be looking at different MCQs, multiple choice questions on motion under gravity. You know, a little theory and a lot of them is going to be calculations. Okay, so we start with the first one. It says, what is the approximate value of the acceleration due to gravity near the Earth's surface? Now, the approximate value is 9.8 meter per second square. Now, it's also important for you to know that the value for the unit for acceleration is meter per second square, not meter per second. So that's what makes B wrong. Acceleration is measured in meter per second square. Now, the second one says, which of the following correctly describes free fall? A says motion of an object with no forces acting on it. B says motion of an object under the influence of gravity alone with no air resistance. C says motion of an object thrown horizontally. D says any downward motion of an object. Of course, the answer is B, motion of an object under the influence of gravity alone with no air resistance. Now, number 3 says a feather and a hammer are dropped simultaneously in a vacuum. Note this word vacuum, which reaches the ground first. Now, the truth is that the both of them are going to accelerate. The acceleration under gravity is constant, okay? And since there is no air, no vacuum, that means both the feather and the hammer are going to reach the ground at the same time. That's the answer, C. They reach the ground at the same time. That's very important, okay? Now, the next one says an object is in free fall. Which quantity remains constant throughout the free fall? The answer is acceleration. Acceleration remains the same, okay? Remains constant throughout the free fall. That's very important for you to know. Velocity increases, displacement can decrease or increase depending on the direction, if it is going upward or going downward, and so on. Okay, number 5. Which of the following equations correctly relates to the final velocity v, to the initial velocity, acceleration g, and time for a free falling object? If you are dealing with a free falling object, an object that is falling, then the answer is this. I'm going to use this to give you to differentiate between free fall and when you throw an object upwards. So we are interested in both an upward motion and downward motion, okay? Now, for downward motion, the equations of motion is, the first one is v equal to u plus at, okay? Now, the second one, this is the first one. The second one is is g, because acceleration due to gravity. The second one is v squared equal to u squared plus 2gs. Then the third one is s is equal to ut plus half gt squared, okay? Now, this is for downward motion, and I want you to notice something. A motion that is downward has a positive acceleration due to gravity because it is downwards, okay? Now, but a motion that is upward, the acceleration due to gravity is negative because an object that is thrown upward or a motion upward is opposing gravity. So it means that the equation of motion for upward will be v equal to u minus gt for the first one. Then we have v squared equal to u squared minus 2gs. And we have s is equal to ut minus half gt squared. So this is what is obtainable for upward motion, and this is what is obtainable for downward motion. I did this because we are going to be seeing a lot of questions in this line. Now, the next one says, when an object is thrown vertically upward, the acceleration acting on it while rising is g. Acceleration is constant, right? But the acceleration always acts downwards. Please don't forget that. Acceleration always acts downwards. Okay, then number 7, at the highest point of its trajectory, an object thrown vertically upward has, now at the highest height, at the highest point, the velocity is 0. Okay, so the answer is 0 velocity and the acceleration is downward. Don't forget that acceleration is always act downward, not zero acceleration. Acceleration is constant no matter the position. Okay, don't forget that. Now the next is that which of the following is true about the motion of an object thrown vertically upward ignoring air resistance? Okay, A says is true about motion of an object thrown vertically upwards. Okay, A says it decelerates on the way up and accelerates on the way down at different rates. Not really. No, not different rates. B says it decelerates on its way up and accelerates on its way down at the same rate. G, that's the best answer. C says the acceleration changes sign at its highest point. That's not true. D says gravity stops acting at its highest point. That's not true. So the answer to this question is B. Okay, now that is very important. Okay, so I'm going to stop here and continue in the next video. Okay, so see you in my next video. We have 30 questions, so we are going to do all of that. Thank you very much.